This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 361. 6 Life-Changing Success Tips I Learned from Arnold Schwarzenegger, Part 1, by John Romaniello of RomanFitnessSystems.com. And I'm Dr. Neil. Hey there, happy Monday, and welcome back to Optimal Health Daily, where I simply read to you from the best health and fitness blogs for free. Now, we get permission from the sites, and here I cover nutrition, fitness, stress management, weight management, and lots more, just like an audiobook, but from a bunch of different authors. And then on Fridays, I answer your questions right here on the show. Now, before we get to it, a big thank you to Talkspace for sponsoring today's episode. Talkspace is the online therapy company that lets you choose from over 1,500 licensed therapists. Get matched with your perfect therapist who could put you on the path to a happier life. For a special offer just for you, come by Talkspace.com/OHD. And since it's Monday, let's start this week off right with an inspirational quote. Quote, "If you have the courage to start, you have the courage to succeed." David Viscott. Now today's post is a bit longer than usual, so I'm going to break it up into 3 parts. I'll read about a third of it today and then finish it up over the next 2 days. So with that, let's jump right in, hear part 1, and start optimizing your life. 6 Life-Changing Success Tips I Learned from Arnold Schwarzenegger, Part 1, by John Romaniello of RomanFitnessSystems.com. I don't care what anyone else says. The simple truth is that none of us in this industry would be where we are or even what we are if not for Arnold Schwarzenegger. If the top trainers in the world are the fitness aristocracy, then Arnold is the king at whose throne we still kneel and to whom we must pay tribute. Although much of what Arnold practiced and preached as a bodybuilder wasn't accurate, his physique clearly showed he was doing something right and led him to success time and time again. But his body was only part of the reason for his success. Arnold rose to the top because of his character, his work ethic, his sheer force of will, and even his admittedly Machiavellian tactics led him to victory as a 7-time Mr. Olympia. As you well know, the Austrian oak used that legendary charisma to jump from the bodybuilding stage to the silver screen, becoming one of the most prolific movie stars in history, redefining the idea of what it meant to be an action hero in the same way he redefined fitness. And it was on the silver screen that Arnold first became known to me and first began to shape my life and my worldview, setting me up for success. Long before I planned on entering the fitness industry, I was learning from Arnold, learning things that would be applicable to fitness, business, and life, lessons that would eventually lead me to the success I currently enjoy. And I learned them from Arnie's movies. You see, unbeknownst to many, Arnold's films often incorporate aspects of his personal worldview. Usually, just a small scene or a line is enough to communicate a level of perspicuous insight that is truly breathtaking. By careful examination over repeated viewings of Schwarzenegger's filmography, I was well prepared to chase success. Now, I have distilled that wisdom into this list so that you too can benefit from the serene sagacity, the astonishing acumen, the wondrous wisdom of my mighty mentor. Presenting for your consideration, the wisdom of Arnold. 1. Define your goals. Success means different things to different people. Some people define it by money, others by achievement and recognition, others still by experiences or freedom to accrue them. Whatever the case, it's important to know what success means to you and how to define or quantify it so that you're not stumbling aimlessly. Before you can reach a goal, you must first know what it is. I learned this from Arnold in the first movie I ever saw him star in, Conan the Barbarian. A young boy of just 6 years old, I sat in front of the TV set and watched as Conan was asked, "What is best in life?" The young barbarian lifted his chin proudly and stated, "To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women." That's it. By stating what is best in life, what he considers to be the pinnacle of success in barbarian culture and in the eyes of Chrome, Conan lays a straight path before him. To achieve greatness, he simply needs to do 3 things. Now, while I don't necessarily want to leave a field of bodies in my wake, I immediately understood the point of this scene, and it has guided me in everything I have ever done. For every undertaking, I have set goals that define success. In order to consider myself a successful bodybuilder, I needed big arms. I decided that big arms were 17 inches or greater, And so I built 17.25-inch arms. I knew what I needed to do, so I did it. At the time I started my first business, I defined success in terms of both money and what it bought me. I decided a successful business was one that earned 6 figures, and so I worked until I earned that much and more. When I transitioned into writing full-time, it meant getting published in every magazine I thought was worth my time. I knew which ones I wanted, so I went after them. And now, magazines chase after me to write for them. Success in my current business means a lot of things to me. I no longer define success by money. To me, success means building a platform that I will leverage to put myself in a new position, and from there, help as many people as possible. Success means writing a book, a print book. It means that my mother can walk into a Barnes & Noble, see my book on the shelf, and feel validated for spending money we didn't have on my education, and I just put the finishing touches on my proposal. Those things are goals, and they are necessary according to my definition of success. And because I define them, I'm working on achieving them. I just finished my book proposal, and I have a number in mind for my advance. If I don't get it, I'll make the proposal even more amazing, and then I'll hit my goal. Quite frankly, in the long run, success for me means television and mainstream media. I know what I want, and I'm going after it. This means that I'll be leveraging my online presence and my upcoming book or books to show the people in charge of such things that they want to get on board with me. I have goals defined, which means I know how to achieve them. I may never get to hear the lamentation of the women, but hey, you can't have it all. 2. Hear that on tomorrow's episode. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled 6 Life-Changing Success Tips I Learned from Arnold Schwarzenegger by John Romaniello of RomanFitnessSystems.com. A very big thanks again to our sponsor for today's episode, Talkspace. Talkspace is the online therapy company that makes it easy to connect with an experienced, licensed therapist that you pick based on your preferences and for a fraction of the price of traditional therapy. You can send your therapist text, audio, and video messages, or even do a live video chat. Talkspace therapists are fully licensed and go through a rigorous screening process in addition to thousands of hours of supervised professional training. So, to get matched with your perfect therapist, go to Talkspace.com/OHD. And as a special offer for our listeners, you can use the coupon code OHD to get $30 off your first month, all while showing your support for this podcast. That's the code OHD and Talkspace.com/OHD. Talkspace, therapy for how we live today. Now, I couldn't agree more with John's take on setting goals. Those of you longtime listeners of this show know that I'm a huge supporter of setting goals, and not only that, writing them down. Whenever you write something down, you create new neuronal connections in your brain. Typing doesn't seem to do the same thing. Just listening to something or looking at something doesn't seem to have the same effect. But when you actually write something down, something like a goal, it changes your brain. It's as if the brain now thinks that the goal you've set is real somehow. And if your brain believes it, you're hopefully going to be more likely to achieve that goal. Now, just because you've written it down and your brain believes that it's going to happen, doesn't mean it's always going to happen. You need to remind yourself that you have set this goal because the brain will forget, and then figure out little steps in between to help you achieve that goal you just set. What little things are you going to do each day to move in that direction? And like I said at the top of this episode, if you have the courage to begin, you have the courage to succeed. You just need to set yourself up for success. And writing down your goals, reminding yourself of those goals, and making sure you have those little steps in between mapped out to get you to that goal, that will ultimately lead to success. And what I always recommend is write down those little steps in between, that map of sorts, to get you to your goal. Again, that'll just make everything seem more real to your brain and therefore will be more likely to happen. All right, that's enough for me. Thanks for being here and listening every day. I hope you're having a great start to your week. I'll see you back here tomorrow where we'll continue this post and where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this show and Optimal Living Daily, the brother podcast of this one. Literally, I'm Dr. Neil's brother. If you like the format of this show, you'll love Optimal Living Daily too, where I also read to you from blogs, but cover other topics like personal development, finance, and minimalism from bloggers like Derek Sivers, The Minimalists, Zen Habits, and many more. So for more amazing content read to you for free, come subscribe to Optimal Living Daily too, and together we'll optimize your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Health Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.